So there's this cop. If you've been on Twitter at some point over the past 24 hours, you've probably seen the video. And, I'm not going to preempt it. Let's just watch the video together, huh? How about we just watch the video together and we can come to our own conclusions following that. How about that? Does that sound good? Here, let's take a look. There she is.
I decided to come to the McDonald's at Love's on the Ford Avenue exit, and I waited in line to get my food. I had already done my mobile order so that, people don't pay for my stuff because I just always like to pay for it myself.
Okay, so far so good. So far so good. Cop, McDonald's, mobile order. All right.
But I'm on my way home from work. When I pull up to the window, they hand me my receipt, so I go to the second window to get my food.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waiting. And I'm waiting. And I'm waiting.
Uh-huh.
And so the girl comes to the window and asks me what my order was.
Uh-huh.
I repeat my order and my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Order. And they ask me to pull up because my food's not ready. It's an English muffin meal with a hash brown and coffee.
Okay.
And
okay.
I mean, I hadn't eaten since probably I've been up for a very long time, but I haven't eaten.
We are
in a
really
while,
leading
so I
the
was kinda
story.
hungry. And I'm still waiting. And I'm still waiting. And they asked me to pull up. So I pull up forward, and a girl comes out with my coffee, and just the coffee. And she hands it to me.
Uh-huh.
And I have my window down. And that's all she hands me is the coffee. So I told her, I said, don't bother with the food because right now I'm too nervous to take it. It doesn't matter how many hours I've been up. It doesn't matter what I've done for anyone. Right now I'm too nervous to take a meal from McDonald's because I can't see it being made. I don't know what's going on with people nowadays, but please, just give us a break. Please just give us a break. I don't know how much more I can take. I've been in this for 15 years, and I've never, ever had such anxiety about waiting for McDonald's drive-thru food. So just have a heart, and if you see an officer, just tell them thank you. Because I don't hear thank you enough anymore. All I want is just my...
The thing she was going to say at the end was, all I want are my lynchings back. Because she's a cop, you see. Seriously, though, I have so much to say about this. Now, what may seem in a vacuum like a one-off viral video, I think this actually belies a lot of really important issues that I'm going to run through as quickly as I can, because I feel like I could talk about this one clip for a literal hour. In fact, I know I could, because it is my job to talk. I am actually talented at that. So let's actually put this this talent to use, okay? So, oh man. So first of all, I want to. This seems kind of fake. Can you confirm the source for me? This has led to a media shitstorm. Everything has been confirmed. The police department, the McDonald's, everything. Like this isn't just like a video. This has already involved the affirmation of larger organizations. So, I mean, it's happening. So, listen, okay? First of all, the first criticism that I'd like to address is this is one person having a nervous breakdown. And I agree, this does seem to be one person having a nervous breakdown. However, a person having a nervous breakdown can be relevant depending on the reasons why they're having a nervous breakdown and other socio-political, contextual, considerations that one must make around that nervous breakdown. If this was just one woman who was a cop who just lost her shit one day, I wouldn't mind too much. Right now on the internet, there are tens, possibly hundreds of thousands of people who are mobilizing behind the injustice that this poor woman has experienced. I have seen people posting the phone numbers of that McDonald's. I've seen people talking about how this is why nobody, the police don't trust people anymore. I've seen people talking about how they need to put this franchise out of business. I've seen people losing their shit, which means that even if this one individual woman is just having a catastrophically stupid day, it's happening in the context of a larger political conversation. So let's talk about that. First of all, so issue number one, it seems like they got her order wrong. Who here has had a drive-through fast food place get their order wrong? Have you had that happen to you? I know it's rare. It's very infrequent, occurrence over there. Now I tell you, decades of my life spent in fast food drive-thrus, how often do they fuck up orders? Really? Well, surely the only reason why she might have experienced a slightly longer than usual delay and then only a coffee, it could only be the product of what? Exactly. What is she accusing that franchise of? Because the way I read it was poison. She said, I don't trust you enough to take that Egg McMuffin because I didn't see it getting made. That's the implication that I got. Now, first of all, even from her own account, there is no evidence whatsoever, none whatsoever, to suggest that any bias went into her order being late. None whatsoever. I mean, even from her own description, if she had said something like, I rolled up to the window and then the girl spat at me, or she was like, oh, you fucking pig, or something like that, if that's what had happened, then maybe I could think okay, well, whatever. Then let's argue about the legitimacy of being mean to the police, okay? Maybe. But even this woman, even this highly upsettable human being made no such mention, which leads me to believe there's no evidence whatsoever, even from her end of things, that she was being treated unfairly. That's point one. Point two, I want you guys to really think for a second. She didn't trust that Egg McMuffin conceptually because she was worried, she didn't trust it because she didn't see it being made. What the fuck did she think was going to happen to that food? Let's really think about the potential consequences of poisoning food being given to an officer. I want you to really think about that. Really think about that. Now, rationally, especially if you were a police officer, because you're fully aware of the criminal, element to this, if you believed that, you would be willing to believe that a person working minimum wage in McDonald's would be willing to risk decades of their life in prison on the scant chance of potentially inconveniencing, injuring, or otherwise harming a random officer with whom they never actually spoke, because the people who make the food at McDonald's are not the people who serve you the food at the fucking window. The people on the line at McDonald's are just burger patty, burger patty, burger patty. They don't fucking know. And then the people at the front call out the orders and they fill it. They don't go hey, there's a cop coming in for this order. I want you to make that Egg McMuffin with extra semen. That doesn't, and I mean, if that did happen, then you would go to jail for a very, 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 very long time. I mean, that's poisoning, Also, it's gross. Don't do that. Don't come in the Egg McMuffins, guys. But all of this is largely tangential, okay? Because if we actually look at the available evidence, whatever minute evidence, whatever bar, whatever standard is being set by this video, it's pretty obvious nothing happened, but this woman is freaking out about it anyway. Which brings me to the actual issue with this, because I don't particularly care if one of the, 700,000 cops in this country is kind of wonky. I don't particularly care that much. You know what I do care about? The fragility. Because while this one woman may be an anomaly, the hyper-willingness with which she is ready to assume the world is against her is indicative of broader police behavior. This is something fairly unique to American cops, or at least this doesn't happen as much in Europe. But there's an attitude in the police in America that you are the wolves, you are the predators, and the people, the civilians, are prey. You are the shepherd. You guide the flock. You occupy a neighborhood. You investigate crimes. You keep people safe. You keep the weak safe. You are the arbiter. You are the warrior. Warrior training. It's an actual thing. If you guys actually want to look it up, I think there was a really good documentary on it. There's this genre of police training that teaches cops death worship. Killology. That's right. You ain't never lived till you taken the life of a man. Are you ready to do that? Are you ready to be the bridge between this world and the afterlife? Let me tell you folks, after you've killed, the next fuck you have is going to be the best fuck you've ever had in your life. John Oliver talked about that. Go watch that John Oliver segment. It's fucking psychotic. It's actually fucking insane. It's a real thing. If you want like a deep dive into it, go watch Cody's show or go watch John Oliver. They probably did a better and more thorough look into it than I ever could over the course of my impromptu live stream. It is fucking crazy. They don't do that in other countries. I'm serious. And the police unions defended that guy too. The guy who was doing all those training seminars. That motherfucker is running around doing another training seminar every single goddamn day. He's like a virus across America. And even though not every cop has been trained by that guy, probably not even close, the mentality behind that training is prominent in American police. And it is not a mentality of a civil servant which overlooks a neighborhood. It is the mentality of an occupying military force. It is a mentality which sows dissent, which sows discontent between the police and the people the police are meant to protect. So when the police are running their rounds, driving around in their car, stopping, checking up on people, they don't think, oh, here I am, a civil servant here to do my job. Oh, yes, my job is significantly less dangerous than that of a cab operator or of a pizza delivery driver. They think, I am the fucking law. I am the line. I am the line between civilization and chaos. Every moment I spend out occupying this area is another moment my life could be taken from me, but goddamn it, if they try, I will not be the one to go into the night alone. That is, I swear to you, I swear to God, that is what these motherfuckers are thinking 98% of the time, okay? I swear to God, okay? I swear, it's true. All data backs it up. All data. Find it. All data, it's true. Find it. I'm not even going to show the data because the plurality of data is so obviously in my favor here. Can't be good for your health. 40%, baby. This scares me. Not because this woman's insane level of fragility is scary. In and of itself, it's actually really pathetic. But the mentality, the immediate, like, I got a wrong order at McDonald's. I can't do this anymore. This is why people don't trust us no more. That willingness to ascribe every slight as a militant objection to policing as an institution, man, it's some wild shit. It is some wild, wild shit. There's the problems with the police in this country. It's not just policy. It's not just the stuff they do. It's the way they think. It's the reason why so often we hear he felt his life was being threatened. It's the reason why cops in America don't ever try to de-escalate. You know who you don't de-escalate with? You don't de-escalate with military combatants. Police de-escalate, but American police do not. And the reason for this, fundamentally, I think at a very, very, very base level, is because I think cops believe that if you challenge them or if you pose a threat to them, their legal exemption means that your life is forfeit. Like, that's it. Like, you've done it. You crossed the thin blue line. And that's what it means. If you've ever actually wondered what the thin blue line refers to, the full, title, I guess, the full phrase is, the thin blue line between us and them. That police are the wall between us and criminality, anarchy. Now, in reality, of course, the existence of the police, as it stands, is not a bulwark. They are not the fucking northern wall that the fucking Game of Thrones dudes man to prevent the winter or whatever, okay? They're civil servants who engage in a wide variety of police tactics, which are exorbitantly expensive and do not actually decrease crime. And their existence, at least as evidenced by, the New York City Police Department taking a few weeks off and crime rates actually, staying pretty much the same or even decreasing in some cases, don't seem to be as necessary to the functionality of our society as some seem to believe they are. So that's all I really have to say. It's just, there is something deeply unsettling about, I will nuke all you letters. Stop. Now, actually, you know what? I'll leave it in the VOD. Eat shit. I think that this woman and the support that she is seeing on social media is deeply frightening. So I hope, and I encourage all of you to get on this, that we all make fun of her as aggressively as possible. And we make fun of everybody who is trying to turn this into some sort of victimized police narrative. The police, the most perpetually victimized. God, man. I wish I remember the details of this story. I wish I remember. Can somebody fill me in? Do you remember? It was a town in America, and there was a cop. That cop had a lot of infractions against him, but as is often the case in police departments, they didn't really care. And he killed a man. I think it was a homeless person. Was it point blank, rubber round? I don't entirely remember the details. This cop killed a person. And they were suspended. And in response to their suspension, the police from that department, almost all of them, marched. And they had signs up that said, I am, and then the name of that police officer. A cop got suspended for murder. And the rest of the police department marched to defend their right to murder homeless people with absolutely no provocation. The whole department. I forget the name of the cop. Does anyone remember? Maybe this has happened more than once. I'm remembering one specific instance, but the police don't want to protect American citizens. The police don't want to uphold the law. If they wanted to do either of those things, they wouldn't be behaving the way they're behaving now. What police want is limitless power. That is what the police want. That is the only thing they want. The police as an institution want to be able to drive into the low-income districts of whatever city they happen to squat in, like an occupying force, and just murder people. Not for fun, necessarily, but because it's a reification of their authority. Because they want to be able to roll into a neighborhood and know full well that anyone who approaches their car too quickly or with their hands in suspicious places can be, with full legal justification, pumped full of lead. That is what the police want. All of their behavior leads into this and nothing else. There is no justification otherwise. Paul Joseph Watson tweet? Yeah. I feel like I'm just getting preachy, so we all know what the cops are like. Here we go. Yes, Paul Joseph Watson, conservatism is the new punk rock. She's actually extremely anxious over her food being poisoned because of the currently vitriolic hate towards police officers. Damn, dude, she should have just shot all the fucking people working at that McDonald's, dude. Anytime any food order is ever late to a police officer, yeah, that's a poisoning case right there. And if they're trying to poison an officer, that basically is murder. And if it's basically murder, she should be able to just fucking kill them as self-defense, right? Like, why not, right? Maybe cops should just be able to do drive-bys on fast food places because there's no way they can prove that there aren't people in there trying to brew up poison for cops. I mean, why not, right? Since we're ignoring, like, probable cause or even, like, you know, the presumption of innocence. What the fuck? There is a monster within me that is stirring. I've had enough of this. I see that shit I see this all the time, dude, on Twitter. These, like, super mad LARPers. It's so fucking cringy every time. How many times have you seen a tweet saying something along the lines of this? They can't keep doing this to us anymore. This is over the line. This was the last fucking straw. They'll be seeing me and people like me any day now. How many times have you seen that exact tweet, just phrased very differently? Every single one of these motherfuckers, they have like their fucking Mawson like up on the wall, and they're like the next day, like they're ready to go out, you know? And then like what happens? BLM rallies continue to gain unprecedented nationwide support, up to like 80% now. Trump is increasingly less and less likely to win the upcoming election. Did you hear, according to Bolton's book, Donald Trump actually reached out to Xi Jinping for help getting reelected? I wonder how the tankies feel about that one. Oh, confirmed by the police department she is not a cop? Is that true? Then why are then what is she, a mall security guard? That makes it worse. I saw a person saying that the police department had responded. I didn't realize they had responded to Wait, she is indeed a cop? Don't lie to me. You little Weasley shits. BuzzFeed News is actually a pretty reliable source. Sheriff's deputy made a tearful video about her McDonald's order and it went viral. Yeah, Georgia's sheriff's deputy. Yeah, okay. This is a deputized individual. You almost got me. BuzzFeed reliable? Actually, BuzzFeed News is actually a really reliable site. BuzzFeed is not, but BuzzFeed News actually does really, really good work. I guess technically sheriffs aren't cops. The culture is pretty shared between the sheriff's department and the police department. But yeah, I mean, if you want to be hyper-technical about it. Yeah, this does feel like a Georgia story. Look, Richmond Hill PD. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It's loading, but it's being super slow to load. Uh-oh, my excellent musical impression. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this makes sense. Here. Richmond Hill Police Department. We've received multiple phone calls and messages about a video that was posted by a female officer. This officer in the video does not work for nor represent the Richmond Hill Police Department. Yeah, we've contacted the agency she works for. Yeah, the Sheriff's Department. So she works for the Sheriff's Department, not the Police Department. Do you guys know the difference? Are you aware? Police departments have jurisdiction over a city, and the police chief is appointed. Whereas sheriff's departments look over a county, and they are actually elected. The sheriff is elected. But there is a pretty strong overlap, but obviously culture-wise between. Why have both? Well, because city limits don't get the entirety of like the county. Have you ever noticed that when you're driving along on the freeway, you always see sheriff's department cars? Because you're not in the city, but you're just in the county. So sheriff's department tend to handle more like peripheral matters, but there is a fair amount of overlap. Yeah, sheriffs do tend to be a little bit more accountable because they're directly elected by the people. Yeah. She's not elected, she's a deputy? No, she's not elected. The sheriff is elected. Not every single fucking person in the sheriff's department. Are sheriffs bastards? Nah, they're still basically cops. Yeah. They are better, though. Aren't there county police? County police is sheriffs. Because they're still police. Is there a difference? There are sheriffs police. Have the same law enforcement powers as a police officer. Technically, well, police just means cities and sheriff just means counties. So technically police doesn't mean sheriff, but they're like the same. Yeah, you know? Let's just say it's complicated. Yeah, it's fairly complicated. Whatever the case may be, every criticism that I made of the behavior of that woman, completely unaffected by the fact that she is of the sheriff's department instead of the police department. It's not actually affected. Oh, man. You keep talking about police reform. Are you not a police abolitionist? Well, I'm also an anarchist, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to try and reform the state on the way towards the abolition of the state. I don't think those things are mutually exclusive. Anyway, we all learned a fun lesson today. What about state police? Well, those ones are for the state. What do you want? Jesus.